like this.
Hi everyone, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Tess, and welcome to Talking Business TV, where we help you kickstart your e-commerce empire.
Now, distractions in business are inevitable, but it's really important that you keep your business growing.
And we also understand that distractions can come in very different forms depending on who you are and what lifestyle you lead. Whether that is you attending to your children, or maybe you have family and friends that love to drop in for a cuppa on a regular basis. Or maybe you're just out hugging giraffes.
Whatever it is, we have two major areas that we like to focus on when it comes to keeping our business growing, even when we're not there. One is content, and that's producing content or having it produced and having it continually going up on your sites and being shared to all of your customers/fans.
And the second one is social media. So today's video is going to cover both these topics and how you can keep them moving forward whilst you're out and about.
Now, speaking of out and about, we did shoot this on the run, so please forgive us for some of the audio quality, but we really hope you find the content helpful and useful.
And enjoy the scenery, and we'll see you back here shortly. Now, while I'm a firm believer in making sure that you are personally attending to your social media sites because they are a social platform, sometimes that's not possible. And one of the ways that we automate our social media, in particular Facebook, is that all of our content that is automatically posting onto our blog sites will then naturally feed through to let our Facebook fans know about this information. So remember, your Facebook fans are still customers, they liked you for a reason, so if you've got valuable information that you want to share with them, you should put a blog post feed straight through to your Facebook. And I've given you a link below with some free programs that you can look at that will automate this for you. Twitter's really easy. There are so many free programs out there that you can use to schedule a whole bunch of tweets in advance. Just make sure that you're using the right hashtags to target the right audience. Okay, so one of the ways that you can keep Pinterest fresh whilst you're away is to actually start some Pinterest group boards. If you don't know what they are, I've got a bit of an explanation down below, so just check that out. But basically it means that you either accept a group request and all the content in that board is shared amongst all those that are part of the group, or you create a group board and invite other Pinterest people to be part of that. And then everyone's sharing the same content, and it's a great way to keep things fresh when you can't be pinning yourself.
So one of the things that we're doing this year, as you know, is producing an awful lot of content for all of our sites. So how do you keep producing content while you're always out on the road or you're busy? Well, clearly outsourcing is the way to go. Now, there's an awful lot of information about outsourcing out there, and definitely if you've done it before, you know it's a love-hate relationship. It's not always easy to get great content outsourced, but when you're in a position like ours, perhaps your situation as well, it's not really an option, so you've got to figure out how to do it cost effectively, and how to make sure your content is still great. So if you are going to outsource the content, I guess the first question you might ask is where do you find good writers? And I guess there are lots of different places to find them. Our strategy is not to go to any one particular place, but we do have a few websites that we go to find those writers, and eventually we kind of establish a relationship with them and then use them fairly regularly. Some of the places you can go to are odesk.com, elance.com. You can go to content creation sites like articleteller.com, iWriter.com. It's also TextBroker is quite popular. For us, I guess our biggest successes have come from odesk.com, but you have to be quite pedantic about what you're looking for. You need to know how to post a job that will get you successful results. And most of all, you need to be very patient and need to understand that you're now working with people, you now have people working under you, and people can often be very painful. Okay, now the way we do it is we have used sites like iWriter.com in the past and ArticleTeller, and these are actually okay. You can get some good articles here, but sometimes it's difficult to actually get in contact with the writer to create that kind of relationship that you need. But what we like to use is odesk.com. And one of the reasons why we use Odesk over say something like Elance is very much project based, whereas Odesk is very much finding a particular person to do a contract work for you. So the way it works is you get on there and you post the job. You say you want to get some articles written, and you say how long the article is going to be and how much you're willing to pay for it, and then writers will come along and bid for that project. And one of the issues of putting up a job on Odesk or Elance is that no matter what you put in the job, the first thing that will happen is you'll find that you'll get hundreds of people applying for it. The question is how do you narrow it down to get the writers, and how do you find the writers who are actually going to do a good job? So now that you've got a lot of applicants for your job, how do you shortlist them? Well, the very first thing that we do that cuts out 90 to 95, maybe even 99% of your applicants is we do native English only. I say that we do have an exception. We do have one Filipino writer, she's quite good, but really it's 1 in 1,000 that can produce the actual content that you need. So we look for, when you get your applicants in Odesk, you'll see what country they're from, and we immediately narrow it down to from the US, from the UK, from Australia, New Zealand. It will depend a little bit. If you're targeting the US, maybe you want the US spelling, or the UK spelling, but other than that, we're happy to correct it as needs be. And that brings me to another point, in that it doesn't matter who you get, whether you pay $12 an article from Textbreaker or you manage to get it for $5 an article, say, from Odesk. I think you need to be prepared that you'll always be editing your own articles. Simply because you kind of want a consistent voice throughout. If you have a blog that's being written, or if you're getting an ebook written or anything like that, you want a consistent voice throughout that, and that can be your voice. Doesn't mean you need to do all the research or all the majority of the writing. It just might mean you go through and just make sure that everything has a consistent sort of style to it. And if you go into it with that attitude, then you will be able to produce great content, and that's how you can also get it done fairly cheaply as well. Which brings us on to the next topic: how much should you be paying for your content? Alright, so it can be a bit of a touchy subject, how much should you pay for an article, how much should you pay for content. There are people out there who can say you can get it for $2 an article, others will say if you're paying anything less than $12, it's not going to be good enough. And I do get, it has to be good content. I think $2 an article is very difficult to get anybody, particularly when you're talking native English speakers. And remember, being a native English speaker or writer is only part of the equation. You need someone who can do good research, who knows how to structure an article. Getting them to do it for $1 or $2 is basically out of the equation. So one of the ways that we still get it done fairly cheaply and still get a native English speaker is to give them ongoing work or give them bulk articles. In other words, don't just come to them and say, look, we need one 500-word article done on this particular topic. Tell them we've got 10 articles for you, 10 500-word articles, and we've got probably more to come, and that you're looking for ongoing writing. This way, you're much more likely to find someone who's looking for a bit of work. If someone's good at article writing, they can actually pump out a lot of articles fairly quickly and still be good. And that's what you're looking for. What they're looking for is regular work. There are so many article writers out there, so many people who want to be able to write from home, who are good at what they do, or for whatever reason they might have a disability and they need to get income from home. And article writing is one of the ways that people do this. So these are the kinds of people you're looking for, and the best way to get it is to give them ongoing work. So basically for content creation we use a number of different sites. However, definitely our primary site that we use is odesk.com to find our writers. Now, how much, I would say that it's certainly still possible to get native English speakers who can do good research, at least reasonable research, for around the $5 for a 500-word article, maybe $6. I know there's probably plenty of people out there saying, no, that's not possible. Well, all I can say is that in our experience, it is possible, and even if you pay $12, you're probably going to be doing some editing yourself. So just be prepared for that, and that's how you can get some great content. One thing I will say, just finally, is once you get a writer, and let's just say you've gone to Odesk, you put up a job for, you need 10 articles done, 500 words, and you want it done for say $50 or $60. And if you get somebody that seems to be reasonable, they've given you some of their previously done content and you like it and you think it's good, give them a test. There's nothing wrong with going to them and saying, look, we want you to do one article, we're going to pay you on a pro rata basis. So for example, if the job says that it's going to be $60 for 10 articles, then that's $6 an article. So for their test article, you're going to pay them the $6. get them to do that test article and just make sure that they're going to do a good job, and then give them a package of articles. This works for us, and hopefully I don't see any reason why it can't work for you guys as well.
And to summarise social media for you, make sure that with your Pinterest you have a couple of group boards so that you've got the fresh content coming up, not too many, and make sure you don't have any spammers. With your Twitter, make sure you've got your tweets scheduled, ready to go with the appropriate hashtags. And for Facebook, if you do have your blog feeding through naturally to your Facebook page, make sure that every few days you try and jump on and do something personal from yourself. And when it comes to all your social media sites, make sure when you're scheduling your posts, you're scheduling them at the time that your target audience is online.
Now, obviously this is great, you know, it helps you keep your business growing, but what you probably don't understand if you haven't done this yet is what a great feeling it is when you're out with your family, your friends, or you're out at a zoo or whatever you happen to be doing, just knowing, having that feeling that your business is still progressing, still moving ahead. I mean, once you've got this set up, and it can take a little bit of work to get going, but once it's going, you won't regret it. We promise you won't regret it. Your business will be better off for it, and so will your lifestyle.
Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
So yeah.